What's going on, everyone? I hope you're doing well. So I've come to the realization that sound is everything, and by sound I mean sound effects, things that make up the layers behind that visual that you see. So two things actually happen. It's either you make a video that has a voiceover and you don't want it to be distracted by a lot of sound effects, or the video that you're making doesn't have voiceover and it's all just visual. So you definitely need some sound effects to support everything that's happening. So you can download sound effects from different sites, could be YouTube or some links that I'll put below, or the simple thing you can do is just recording sound as you're taking your visual. I know sometimes you might not be able to do that because there's so much noise, but recording first-hand sound is always good. First clip I want to show you here, I could not actually record the sound, so I had to make a plan to go online and search and look for different sound effects to make the visual look pleasing. So we're now looking at our clip. The first thing you saw there, we didn't have any sound. So what I usually like doing is I like to put like a bass sound that is like more of the sound effect that you hear throughout the whole clip. And for me, that was just like the natural atmospheric vibe. So just have a listen to this part. So that's like some bit of wind just blowing past, and we're building our layers bit by bit. So that's the first layer that you see here. Okay, and I went on and I added the next layer here. Just have a listen to it. I'm going to cut off the first layer that you heard. Okay, so as you can hear it, things are getting a little bit more interesting. Just combining the two sounds, you hear this. But you hear that there's something missing, okay? That's the part that the birds fly off. So we need to get that sound. So right now I can actually lower this volume here. It's a little bit too loud. That's an A2 there. Probably put it down a little bit there. Alright. Also, this vibe here, we can lower it a little bit more. Slowly our clip is coming to life. So let me just close these parts here and you can hear the last part that I added. So as you can hear, this is like the normal water sound you'd hear at a water feature. And it's just, I thought it was just mandatory to have that. Okay. Yeah. So you need a good set of headphones, earphones to hear these sounds proper. So if you have one, please do grab them. I'm just going to put everything on now and you can hear. All right, so that's just a little breakthrough of this small clip here, guys. There's more you can do to it, but this is just a basic look at it. On this clip here, the first bass sound that I had was of just birds. The natural sound that you'd hear if you're like in a forest or like in a communal land. Okay, and then had, surely if you're passing through cattle, you probably need to hear the sound. Yeah, and then added some bells. And mind you, like, these cattle had no bells on their necks, but adding this sound literally made a whole lot more sense, and it added a lot of depth into the shot. And what I did here was I just had one sound of a cow, so I had to add another sound here to make it seem like many of them were making the same sound. So just have a listen to this. All right, so it actually means that if I go ahead and I add, if I take this clip and I put it, say, here, it'll be very interesting. Just listen to it. Yeah, so I combine all of these sounds now. I'll probably remove the sound for now and just keep it as it is. So as you can see, everything changed as we started adding the layers of sound to the whole clip. You can obviously later on color grade it to make it more cinematic and all of that stuff. And another trick that I've learned is you can always throw sound before a visual comes into play. So what we did here, we took a drone shot before anyone came through for the match. But the trick that happened was that we put a sound layer that made it seem as if people were already watching the match. So if we play the clip here, if we just go back here, the first thing you hear is clapping of hands. So before you even see the people that are clapping hands, already your mind is registering that I should be seeing people clapping hands, or like a crowd in the hype zone, hype mood, ready to watch a match. So again, the power of sound effects. You can play around with it and you can achieve a lot of things with it. Same thing happened there. So you first heard the drums, the bass and all of that stuff before you even saw the guys playing all of the instruments. So again, throwing sound before you see the visual. And if you match whatever it is that you're doing to the sound, it'll always come out really nice. So these are just like basic tips that you can obviously use. There's layers to a lot of these sound effects, and I'm actually trying to get to that level whereby I can actually put a lot of layers to the videos that I make. But everything as a starting point, you can always improve and get to the next stage. So the next clip is actually quite interesting. I'll just run it through real quick. But if you're interested in us breaking down what we actually did on this particular clip, just comment below and we'll definitely do it. So here we had Hilton, big shout out to Hilton. Everything was recorded and there was pretty much not much sound from the things that we're doing. So I'll just play it here.
Another devastating and unthinkable moment in a pandemic that continues to change.
Globally, almost 300,000 new coronavirus cases were reported in the last 24 hours. That is the largest single-day increase.
Taking a closer look at how the coronavirus is continuing to impact countries worldwide as many leaders try to boost economies. However,
so the news reporting that you hear there was not even happening at that time. But if you start hearing that as the person is pouring his coffee or making his coffee, your mind will automatically register that, okay, this is probably the start of the morning and the person is getting ready for their day, this and that, this and that. But when we shot this, literally there was no news happening, so everything else just came into play, trying to have sound effects of him pouring his coffee, opening the lid, small things. I feel like small things add to the overall production, because personally I used to just overlook it. I just used to throw a cool beat and then upload everything. But over time I started to realize that you need to take time and design your video on the audio side of things. The last clip here is honestly one of my favorites. I'm still to make another visual that will surpass this one this coming few weeks, or this coming May. I will definitely make another visual. But The interesting thing about this again was like we had barely any sound on the clip, but everything was downloaded. Everything was like, we looked for sound from different sites and it all came alive. So just listen to it. You hear different sounds as you're going through the video, and we tried to merge the things as well as the whole thing was playing. So guys, that's it for this video. If you're interested in us making a deeper breakdown on these sound effects, let us know. But for anyone out there who's starting out getting into film, I promise you, you'll thank yourself later if you start investing in learning about sound effects, just the basics of how it works and where you can put it. I know everything differs, all visuals are different every single time, but just work with what you have. And if you want some help, hit us in the email, hit us in on our social media platforms, and we can see how we can work together. Thank you so much. Please remember to subscribe, press that like button, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.